In June 2026, the world's eyes will turn to North America for a historic moment, the first ever World Cup held across 3 nations, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. The build-up has been years in the making, with promises of a tournament that would unite fans across borders and showcase the continent to billions watching worldwide. But as the countdown ticks closer, an unexpected storyline is emerging. In the United States, the country hosting the majority of matches, there's growing concern that the roar of the crowd could be replaced by something far quieter, the sound of empty seats. The issue isn't a lack of passion for the sport. Soccer has been growing rapidly in the US, with record-breaking attendance at club matches and surging youth participation. The problem lies elsewhere, at the border, in consulates, and in the fine print of travel policy. For many international fans, especially those coming from football-loving nations, getting into the US for the tournament is turning into an obstacle course. Visa delays are stretching into territory that could derail travel plans entirely. In some countries, US visa interview wait times now exceed 300 days, nearly a full year. In certain consulates, the backlog is so severe that fans applying today wouldn't be processed until after the tournament is over. For supporters who planned their World Cup trip far in advance, this isn't just frustrating, it's game-ending. And the hurdles don't stop there. Beginning in October 2025, most non-immigrant visas will carry a new $250 visa integrity fee. Theoretically refundable if travelers leave the US on time, the refund process is expected to be so slow and bureaucratic that many will treat it as a sunk cost. For a family of 4, that's $1,000 added to travel expenses before booking a single hotel night or buying a meal. In countries like Canada or Mexico, that same amount could cover 3 or 4 nights in a mid-range hotel. Then there's the outright exclusion. Citizens from 12 countries remain under a US travel ban, including Iran, whose national team has qualified for the World Cup. Athletes, coaches, and technical staff may be granted special exemptions, but ordinary fans are left without a path in. For tournaments known for their vibrant, diverse supporter culture, that absence will be felt deeply in the stands. Stories of disappointment are already piling up. A group of Nigerian supporters, known for the colorful, high-energy presence at past tournaments, booked tickets the moment sales opened. They planned to combine the World Cup with a holiday across North America. But as visa delays grew, they were forced to cancel, losing deposits and part of their ticket costs. One fan summed it up simply: when a stadium ticket becomes meaningless, it's no longer about sports, it's about access and trust. For the fans who do make it through the visa maze, another challenge awaits: the cost of everything. A wave of new US tariffs on imports is driving up prices across the board. Rates on some goods have soared to levels not seen in decades, with items from key markets like Brazil and India facing duties as high as 50%. And it's not just consumer goods, it's the very materials needed to build and equip stadiums. Steel and aluminum for roof structures, stadium seating, LED scoreboards, turf maintenance equipment, even the official match balls. Almost all are more expensive than they were when hosting plans were first announced. The numbers tell the story. For a 40,000-seat stadium, construction costs can range from tens to hundreds of millions of dollars. If steel and aluminum, which often make up about 15% of a stadium's structural budget, rise in cost by 50%, that can add $9 million to the bill. That extra cost has to come from somewhere, and in many cases, it means cutting back on community events, reducing volunteer programs, scaling down decorations, or even lowering the quality of some facilities. It's a chain reaction. Hotels and restaurants near host stadiums are facing higher import costs for furniture, kitchen equipment, and supplies, which in turn push room rates and meal prices upward. Airfares are also rising. Visa restrictions have reduced the number of direct international flights to the US, creating a supply crunch that drives ticket prices higher. Souvenirs aren't immune either. An official World Cup scarf that cost $35 in 2018 could easily hit $60 or more in 2026. For some fans, the math is impossible to ignore. A Toronto family of 4 had planned to see a group stage match in New York. They pictured their son in his team jersey, singing along with tens of thousands of supporters. But when they totaled the cost, airfare, hotels, meals, tickets, and souvenirs, the budget had nearly doubled. In the end, they chose to see a match in Vancouver instead: no visa hassle, far lower costs, and a similar atmosphere. And this is where the contrast becomes striking. Canada and Mexico are seizing the moment. Their stadiums are nearly complete, entry procedures are straightforward, and costs are more predictable. Canada will host 13 matches, expecting a $2 billion GDP boost and more than 24,000 jobs. Mexico brings decades of hosting experience, reasonable living costs, and fan-friendly visa policies. Sponsors are noticing too. Companies like Emirates and Visa are shifting major marketing activations to Toronto and Mexico City, fearing that US attendance could disappoint. The risk for the US isn't just about ticket sales, it's about the rules. FIFA requires that host nations allow ticket holders to enter for matches. If the US fails to resolve visa issues and entry costs by March 2026, FIFA has the right to move matches to Canada